Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first Melbourne Metro recap show for the year. Now, this will be actually a preview show of Premier League, Prem Reserve, and Division 1. Just quickly going through that. Now, just to go through who I've got in the lineup this year. So we'll bring that up. So I've got Todd Simmons from the Clayton Bowling Club, Anthony Witkowski from the Mitcham Bowling Club, Matty Odebray from Heathmont, Andrew Cullen from Mitcham, Dylan Fisher from the Moonee Valley Bowling Club, and everyone's favourite person, Lucas Protopappas from the Heathmont Bowling Club. So for tonight, I'd like to introduce Toddy Simmons and Anthony Witkowski. Good evening, gentlemen, when you finally come online. There we go.
Matty. Hey, Matty. How you going?
How are you guys?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Good, mate. Good. Welcome to the new show.
Thank you.
It should be
cheers,
good.
mate.
Finally got somebody doing a recap of the weekly results across a few boards, so it'll be good.
Yeah.
Now,
It's about time something's been like this has been done, mate. It's a good idea, and hopefully it all goes well for us.
no, it will. So just to let everyone know, all the team will be on a rotational basis, so we're not going to have 6 people on at a time, so it'll be 2 every week, rotating through. So, boys, you do one show, then you get a few weeks off.
That's probably all everyone wants of us anyway, Toddy.
Yeah. One week every few weeks will do.
Yeah, that's about it, mate.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone's got to put up with my ugly mug for every week, so.
That's all right, mate. We could blur you out somehow.
No, thanks, mate.
Pleasure, mate.
So we'll just get started. Got some bowls news to go through. So we will start with the juniors who have just been up at the National Championships. And here's our first bit of news. So Charlie Boswood and Kobe Cromie won gold in the boys' pairs. And Acacia Fortune wins gold in the girls' singles. So very well to those guys there. I've actually played with Charlie. He's a good little player, that bloke.
Yeah, I don't know much about any of the juniors, to be honest, mate, but
that's all right.
Vic's winning is always good.
Get with it. Now,
yeah, well done. Well done.
Next up, we've got Addie Ryan and Marley Malcolm winning the bronze in the girls' pairs. And Kobe gets bronze medal in the boys' singles. So,
yeah, that's a good effort. I know Marley's from Mitcham, so love her work. Fantastic.
Yes. Now, I've just done some research. Nick Rowley, Acacia Fortune and Kobe Cromie, who were there in our little shorts, they're moving on. So they've hit the 18-year-old mark and they're moving on. But look, the rest of the team looks really good. I think they're going to have a lot of success in the future.
Yeah.
So,
and it's also, I think, very good having someone with Matty Flapper's experience there coaching to help steer them in the right direction from an early age as well. Makes a big difference.
Oh, absolutely. I was watching some live coverage from it before, and the guys were putting bowls down and Matty was sitting behind them and he was giving them fives and everything else. So that's really encouraging to see, people at the game for a start, and, the support around the group has been really good. So well done to the Vics there. I think they came second overall.
Yes, I think that's right.
Yeah, which is a really good sign. So well done to everyone there. Moving on to the Para National Championships. Had a few gold medalists there. So we've got Barry Brennan and Josh Barry won the gold in the open pairs. So well done to those two. And our main man, Lucas Protopappas and Josh Thornton, won gold in the men's 14-point pairs. So, good effort there.
Well done, boys.
And
Our very own Lucas.
We'll get on to the silver, and guess who pops up again? So, Alison East and Annette Ruffle won silver in the women's open pairs. Well done, ladies.
Congratulations.
Annette's local to the eastern suburbs anyway. So
I think Annette's at Heathmont, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I've seen her down at Croydon having a roll a couple of times.
Yeah.
And our main man, Lucas, won silver in the men's B5 and B6 singles. So,
jeez, it's going to be hard to get him to stop talking about himself now, isn't it?
I heard, I didn't actually watch it, but I heard he probably won't be talking about that game. But
okay.
Yeah, had a bit of a, I won't say shocker, but yeah, didn't play all that well. Didn't play up to Lucas's standard. So, but again, hey, silver's better than nothing at all, to be honest. So,
it's a fantastic achievement.
Oh, it is fantastic. So he just keeps rolling along in the para, him and Josh Thornton as well. So And then the latest news has been the ladies' senior side won gold again, third year in a row. They just keep rolling on these ladies.
That's an amazing achievement. Playing in the Nationals, it's a long event. I played in a few of them, and it's always hard slog. And to win 3 in a row, that's just unreal.
Yeah, it's a pretty outstanding achievement. So well done, ladies.
No, it is. Hey, to win one's good enough, but to win 3 on the trot, well,
yeah,
just shows how good the Vics are.
Stock Standard's always beating those New South Welshmen, that's for sure.
Or the Queenslanders. I don't know what's better.
Mate, all of them. Doesn't matter.
No, it's probably better beating New South Wales. I won't say a dislike, but I'm not too favourable about anything New South Wales.
I don't mind their rugby side. They're just no good.
Yeah, true. All right, well, let's get on to, we're going to do a preview of the Prem Reserve season. So we'll bring up the ladder from last year. As we know, Deer Park and Moonee Valley finished on top of the ladder, followed by Melbourne, Bundoora, Altona, Clayton, Yarraville, Footscray, and unfortunately MCC were the bottom feeders on the ladder and have moved down into Prem Reserve, and up comes Essendon. So, Toddy, seeing as you're a skip in the Premier League side, we'll start with you and we'll start with Clayton, mate. How's Clayton looking this year? Because if you look at the ladder, it wasn't a great year last year.
Yeah, you can look at the ladder, but in saying that, if I had picked up a 7 on my last end against Bundoora, which was highly unlikely,
yep.
But if I had got a 7, we would have been playing finals. It looks like we were nowhere near it, but really we weren't that far away, and a couple of games didn't go our way, and we had one game last year, no excuses, but we had all our international, we'll say our superstars out, and unfortunately we got sort of thrashed that day, which didn't help. But that's sport, and you got to go out there with who you've got, and that's what you got to win with. And over the season we weren't good enough last year.
Yep. So
I'd agree with that, Tommy.
Yeah.
So any changes to the side in the preseason? What are we looking at for Clayton?
Yeah, well, we lost a couple.
One of them, not lost, mate. Let's be honest.
one of them being Unch, and then and Ryan Drummond as well. They've both moved on to other clubs for the coming season, and I always wish them well. And I'm always a believer that you play at a club that you want to be at, where you want to be, and where you're going to enjoy your bowls. So, hopefully you guys enjoy where you're going.
It's nice to be 8 minutes from home, mate, to be honest. That's the best thing.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. We've picked up Aaron Burke, and also we've been lucky enough to get hold of Shannon McElroy, who is not a bad player from New Zealand.
Pretty handy, mate. Pretty handy.
He might just sneak into the team when he's available.
Your spot up for grabs, Toddy. You might be in trouble, mate.
Yeah, I might be gone. We're not sure yet. I think somewhere between 3 to 6 games, depending on schedules and results and so forth. Then our fly-ins this year, we've got Ryan Bester back again. He's no need to say anything. He's an absolute superstar. And then we've got Brendan Egan, Doona from Queensland, and Matty Miles from New South Wales that are coming in this year to play. I think they're going to try and play somewhere from 10, 12 games each, something along those lines. And we've got Cam Keenan as a permit player to play when available. So
you picked up. You haven't lost a lot, and you've picked up a lot, mate. Pretty much.
Well, look, we'll be similar. Who knows? Depends on how a lot of people play, and I guess it's about getting the combinations right. Is a lot of it, and like all the Premier League teams, they've all got decent players. So it's more just about, who performs on the day, and I guess who clicks a little bit better, which makes a difference, because most games, let's be honest, are within about 10 shots, which is nothing. It's
always it's an end here, it's an end there, isn't it, mate? You keep those bad ends down to a minimum, and you're going to be somewhere around the mark.
Yeah, the skipper plays a couple of good conversions from 5 down or doesn't, and that can be the whole change of the whole game. So, yeah. But look, we're excited for the year again, and hopefully we can go a little bit better than we did a couple of years ago, which is what we all want to do.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
Everyone wants to get a little bit better.
Yes.
Now-
Which I'm sure, mate. Let's be honest with the experience and stuff you got there, mate. I'm sure that you've always be thereabouts. That's for sure.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
I'll be backing on that one, mate.
So
Very good. Thank you.
we'll
Yes.
just we'll whip through the others.
Yeah.
Again,
So we played Bundoora this week.
Yep.
First round.
Next week. Yep.
So Bundoora, they've lost Dean O'Neill and Chopper, but the only, I guess, new players that I've found out, I've done a little bit of research, and thanks to everybody from the clubs that have sent me through the details. So without your guys' help, we wouldn't have all this info. But their permit players are Ben MacArthur, Will Collarhole, and Brett Rayner for this coming season, and I'm assuming those three are playing most weeks. And they've got Gary Kelly, Corey Wedlock, and Ben Winther as their fly-in players.
Not bad.
So yeah, again, they're going to be strong, and they've got a lot of good, solid players as well, and they're always a tough, hard team to play against. So we're
talking about Benny Winther. Good luck to him at the Nationals as well. I know he's playing with Spurry in the pairs, so good luck, Benny. Hope you go well, mate.
Yeah, good luck, boys. Yes.
All right, so we'll go from the top. Deer Park, what are they up to?
Oh, well, they're probably not going to be too – they're going to be strong again.
Yep.
They got some good outs, though, this year. So they've lost Sheriff, Ryan Tayton and J-By Norris, which are, three of their skippers. But, they picked up some pretty handy replacements. They got Dean River and Brendan Code. And then they've also got their fly-ins, Harley McDonald, Matty Bouse and Lee Schreiner. So again, they're going to be strong. They've got a good list of players, and not only just at the top end, their whole front end and everyone is, they're good players. So,
how long's it been since Lee's played in the Fremore down in Victoria? You reckon, Toddy?
Oh, it's got to be a fair while. I reckon before he went up to New South, I think. Yeah, I couldn't tell you how many years. He'd be able to tell me probably how many days it was.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
If I asked him. He's got one of the best knowledge of results and stuff that I know in bowls. But, it's got to be a few years at least.
Because it's been a fair while now, so, yeah.
So it's good to have him back in the competition. Played a lot with and against, or not so much against, but I played a lot with Lee. And, he's a good bloke. So, and Deer Park are playing Moonee Valley. So far, I believe they've only lost Jack Thompson. I think he's having the season off. And then their fly-in players are Jacob and Kane Nelson, obviously two good young players. And then Michael Sims, who was played a few games for them last year. And their permit players, they got Luke Hoskin. And I've been told there's a secret. There's another one on the way, but we're not able to get that information.
Oh, you couldn't get the information, Tony.
No. And I must say, I'm pretty close with a few people at Moonee Valley,
I would have thought so.
But no, I wasn't able to get that info.
Mate, I'm very disappointed with that, mate. We'll have to have a chat to the boys from MV.
Well, one of our boys, Dylan Fisher, who will be on the show in the next couple of weeks, apparently they're out for a team dinner tonight, so I'm sure the secret will be out if somebody's confined.
No, that's in the stateside, Matty. He's up north with the state team.
Oh, yes. He's up there. Oh.
I can't believe he didn't give you the information, though, Toddy. Like, you might have a chat to Snapper about that.
I think we'll have to, we'll have to ban him from
I think they're worried we might poach that player or something. But anyways, so, and look, to be honest, Moonee Valley and Deer Park. Moonee Valley played Deer Park 4 times last year.
Yep.
Moonee Valley beat Deer Park 3 times, but they weren't able to win the grand final against Deer Park.
Yep.
And I just think it was the pure experience of Deer Park, been there, done it before, big-time players, played a lot of important games. And, they play each other on the Friday night next week, and it's going to be a ripping game. And, looking forward to it.
It was a sensational effort from Moonee Valley last year, though. They came up and they made a granny. So it was just an unbelievable
Straight
effort.
off the bat.
Yeah. And to be honest, not many teams even beat Deer Park, and they beat them 3 times.
Yeah.
So, credit to them for that. And, they had a fantastic year. And, the grand final is one game, but even to make the grand final, it's huge effort. So well done to them.
Now, Toddy, I'm getting comments on Facebook going, you know damn well what the secret is at Moonee Valley. You just don't want to say.
No, I can guarantee you I don't know. I'm not one for keeping secrets that I know. I don't know what it is. But I'll tell you, I'll let you know as soon as I do.
No worries. Well, unless Dylan tells us straight up.
Yeah, well, he could, but yeah.
Who have we missed? Melbourne. Where are we at with Melbourne?
Yep. So Melbourne, they've lost Phelpsy this year. And their ins are Darren Pollock, Steve Moore, Sam Mayers, Alan Thistlethwaite. And then their fly-ins are Spurry, Jake Rinn, and Nathan Wise. And their permit players are Andrew Brown and T-Bone Lester. So, again, I've only got Phelpsy here that's out. I think there might be one or two others that aren't there. I'm not 100% sure.
Yep.
But, they've got a few good ins. And then, obviously, their fly-ins are, top-notch players. So they're always going to be hard to beat again, Melbourne, especially at their home deck. That's always never easy to play on.
Interesting, isn't it? I've played at Melbourne once, and I found it interesting. Let's put it that way.
It's quite harder to play if it's in the middle of December or the middle of January as well. It's
we had
a lot harder.
We had a good practice couple of days there last weekend. There was 6 teams there. Altona, Melbourne, us, Middle Park, Port Melbourne, and MCC in a pennant sort of practice. Played 5 games of 10 ends, and MCC were the winners there, and they played very well. They beat Port in the final, so we actually beat Altona and Melbourne and lost to the other 3 teams, but the conditions were atrocious in terms of the wind. So, but anyways, no excuses. We didn't play good enough, and
no, fair enough.
It's bedtime lunch.
Yeah, no, I've just muted Unch while his daughter's there. It's fine.
Yeah.
Who else have we missed?
Yeah, Melbourne. So Melbourne are playing Essendon.
Yep.
So Essendon's out. Obviously, we didn't play Essendon last year, but watched a couple of their finals, and they're going to be a good team. And then, so their outs were Richard Dwyer, and then their ins are Michael Stevenson, Brad Orr, and Dave Morris, with their fly-ins Rob McMullen, Bo Prideaux, and Jared Davies. And then their permit players are Matty Flapper, Tim Cromie, Kobe Cromie, and Mason Bayliss. So they got a lot of permit flying players, and I guess it's going to make a difference as to how many of them can play, how often. I'm not sure if their permits are to play every game or some. Like I know Matty Flapper probably isn't going to play every game because he'll be at Ocean Grove. But it makes for a very interesting competition this year with the new rules and the permits and who can play when and who can't and so on.
Yeah, it could be. You can almost have up to 8 or 9 changes every week, can't you? Like it's probably getting to a point now where it's probably gone a little bit too far, in my opinion. You can't be having 9 or so changes or 8 changes every week from one side to the next. It's making it a bit it's a bit beyond a joke now.
The permit players are a real interesting one because, we've got some permit players at Clayton that play in our 4th side, but they count as one of our 4 permit players that we're allowed to have as a club. So it's kind of, because we'd already agreed to that previously, we can't now turn around and say, well, we don't want you now because we want to get a higher ranked player to come in. So I just think there needs to be a little bit of tweaking, and I don't mind the idea, but I think it should be limited as to how many fly-in / permit players can play each week, whether it's 3 or, whatever it might be out of the 7 players or something. But I think that would make it more of a Melbourne Premier League as opposed to at the moment. We've got a lot of non-Melbourne players that are playing.
Yep. Yeah, so it kills a lot of the local players, I think.
It does,
But again, look, it's all fairly newish, and again, you make a rule and you sort of go, well, that kind of didn't work. So you're always going to be tweaking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You're always going to be tweaking until you get it right, and how long does it take to get it right? Who knows? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And then the last game, we've got Altona and Yarraville. So Altona, they've got a few out, unfortunately for Altona. Reed Shanter, Ray Coulter, Cam Wilson, Haley O'Reilly, and Lee Dowenson are all out this year. I don't know if they've got any in, so I haven't got that information. Yep. And their fly-ins, they got Aaron Wilson back again, of course. And then Nick Cahill, who's left us at Clayton and gone over to Altona, and Greg Jeans, who's coming down, I think, for the first time. And as far as I know, they don't have any permit players at the present time.
Yep.
So look, that's some big outs.
Yeah.
There's some really good players in there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. 5 of their, consistent players that played every week are out, and you've got, I think they had 2 fly-ins last year. They had Aaron and I think it was Ben Twist that I think was a fly-in.
Did they have Ferguson last year as well?
Oh, it's Fergo, yeah. So whether, so on paper, from the information I've got, they're most likely going to be a bit weaker, but who knows? They've always been a strong club, Altona, and they'll have stocks in the 2s that are, ready to step up and have a crack. And
they're always, as you said, they've always been strong, mate. As long as I can remember being around Bowls, it's they've always been one of the power sort of sides. So I'm sure they would have got their players in to make sure that they stay up and whatnot. So
and then we're just what's Yarraville Footscray done? Because again, they probably need to improve a bit.
Yeah, well,
stay in.
I didn't get any information of anyone leaving, but again, they might just not have told me. But so their ins, we've got Craig Mills that's gone from a fly-in to a full-time Victorian, and now he's playing in the state side, and Aaron Van Haften. Then their fly-ins are Nathan Black, who played some games last year, Cohen Lifton and Tyson Wilson, a couple of young guys. And then they've got Vinnie McElwain, who's gone from a Yarraville player to a permit player. So, a couple of players have just changed sort of roles, but still the same in the team. And, look, they're always a competitive side, Yarraville. And I think, sometimes maybe they've just underachieved a couple of times. And I know we've played them a couple of times and just snuck over the line when maybe we probably shouldn't have, and, got away with murder once or twice. So,
yeah,
it always sort of seems with them if they just don't start well the season. They start, at least the last few years, they've just started off poorly and they've come home really well. But so it'll be interesting to see if they can get off to a good start. Who knows? Yeah,
it makes it hard, 14 rounds and tough comp. Like, there's no easy games. And, you lose a couple that maybe you should have won, and, geez, it makes it for a hard season. Like, look, MCC, they were a good team last year.
Yeah.
They just couldn't quite put it together, and they were losing by 5, lose by 10, whatever. And then all of a sudden their season was gone. And, we played them on the weekend, and they've only picked up a couple of players. And, they played unreal on the weekend, and, they pretty much beat just about everyone and played well and deserved it. So
you look at their side on paper, and that's a Premier League side, mate. Really,
100%, yeah.
And a side that could be sort of thereabouts, really. So
they're as good as most of the teams in Premier League. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. All right, Unch, you're up.
So that's it.
Yeah, that's it for Premier League. What we'll do next week is we'll start to do our tips. So again, we've got this little Facebook group where we all talk to each other.
Oh, we're going to do tips, do we?
Yeah, well, just an internal tipping comp. Come on.
I might be the kiss of death, I think.
Yeah, well, so we'll do Premier League and Prem Reserve, and we'll post the scores up once a week, see how we're all going. We'll not have a clue, so it doesn't matter.
That'll make 2 of us, mate.
Yeah. Now, Unch, Prem Reserve. Let's have a look at this. Now, we were hoping to have a few other people on that knew a bit more about Prem Reserve, but we'll try and wing our way through it. So we'll start with Fitzroy, because Whittlesea ended up playing Essendon in the final and went down. So Essendon's gone up. Richmond Union and Mentona out. And in comes MCC, of course. From Div 1, Port Melbourne and Flemington are in. So, Fitzroy, what do you know?
I know nothing, mate. I just assumed that they're just going to be thereabouts. I didn't do any research like Toddy did.
No. That's fine.
Well, one thing I can tell you about Fitzroy is they've got a massive home ground advantage. I played there. I was there before I went back to Clayton. And the green back then, we had a 25-shot head start before we even started because of the green. And, it was very consistent back then in the fact that might have been hard to play on, but as soon as we got on it, we knew what it was going to do. And it would take the opposition a while to work that out.
And add to the fact that there's barefoot bowls there nearly every Saturday. If it's a nice sunny day, it's a tough place to concentrate.
There's just so many people. It makes it so hard.
Yeah.
Whittlesea.
That's the one, Toddy.
What do we know about Whittlesea, if anything?
Whittlesey. Well, my mate Yatesy is at Whittlesey. What I've heard is that I don't know if it's 100% right or not, but I don't believe Nick McIntyre will be playing for the upcoming season.
Right.
I don't know the ins and outs of it, and so I'm not going to say anything because, I don't want to say the wrong thing pretty much, but I believe he's not playing for the upcoming pennant season. So that's a big out for them.
It is, yeah.
Dandenong. See, I should have asked the question. I should have done my own research here.
Yeah, you should know this one, Clarky.
Yeah, I know. Useless.
Sam Atkinson's gone there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
from
sounds right.
Richmond Union, which that's a massive pickup. She's a world champion, So and they were thereabouts all last year. They just probably fell away a little bit. I don't know what they've picked up. I'm sure they've picked up more. They normally always do. They normally pick up 20 odd players every year. So
Barry Lester's a fly-in for them. He's gone from Richmond Union over to Dandenong.
Yes.
So that's two big inclusions.
Yeah, huge. Yeah. Now, Lilydale, hang on. Where's my phone? No, I've got it here. Lilydale, as far as I know, get Dan Woodrow back and Lee Davenport. They must have gone off to play somewhere else, but they're now back at Lilydale. So
I think they both just had a couple of years off.
Yeah, Woody had a couple of years off.
Yeah, right.
And my little mate Leroy definitely just had a couple of years off. We played against him in a pracky match a couple of weeks ago, I think it was. Leroy's back in the top side. I think they're pretty status quo, mate. They've got a really strong nucleus of players who just stay there and do their jobs. It's just a solid side.
Yeah, and not an easy place to win.
No, and they can get under the skins of people. Those sides as well, they don't mind enjoying themselves, and a bit like Moonee Valley, I guess. They like to get up and about, and they can ruffle a few feathers, and if they get going, they're a tough side. They're a tough side to stop.
Heathmont, I haven't heard a lot.
No, I think they'll be pretty status quo. I know Will Mays has left to go to MCC.
Oh, righto, yep.
But I'm not sure exactly who they've picked up or not. But I'll be backing me mate Basil Ward to steady the ship, mate. Lead them to where they need to go. They're just another good Eastern side. They're a solid side, mate. If they get going, blokes like Finton, blokes like Coco, Dory, if they get going and have a good season, they're a good side. I'll be backing them to be going pretty well.
Yep. Now, of course, Richmond Union and Mentone are out. Port, Melbourne and Flemington are in. Now, I know Flemington's got an out in Jacob Seary, who skipped the Flemington side last year. So he has moved on. I'll tell you where soon.
Is that a secret?
No, I'll let it out in a minute. So I've got a couple of ins somewhere else. And again, look, Richmond Union, as does happen with especially Prem Reserve. We played against them in a practice match 5 weeks ago, and they basically said the minute they dropped out of Prem Reserve, they got absolutely decimated. Everybody just packed up and left.
Well, at Clayton, we picked up a few of players from Richmond Union.
Yep.
And, I wouldn't say from the fact of as soon as they were out of Prem Reserve that they left, because we only picked them up very late only recently.
Yeah, right.
But, I did hear that there was quite a few that left.
It sounds like it might be a tough
Union.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even they, by their own admission, said even Div 1 will be tough this year for them. So,
well, I heard they've lost 30 out of their club.
Oh, wow. That's big.
I didn't go into specifics while we were there, but they said.
Yeah, which is such a shame because it's, got so much upside, that club, and the location, and, it's always been a fantastic club. So hopefully they can fight through this and come back stronger on the other side.
Oh, look,
you look at it a couple of years ago, they were down in Divi 2, I reckon, like 3-4 years ago, I think. So they've done it before. Yeah. So, you just hope they can do it again.
Yeah, I think, not that I know for a fact, but I think that they fell into the same trap that a lot of clubs do in terms of, hey, let's throw some money at a lot of people. And when that doesn't pay off, everyone goes out the door. And it's like, well,
Yeah,
what the hell did we spend all that money for?
It's a tough one, that, isn't it? Because if you don't spend the money, you probably don't compete. You can't compete in a way, like especially in Prem. But and I'm not saying that these people like this, but I think it's a matter of, if you're going to be doing that, you really need to look at the individual first, I think.
Yeah.
Or what the person's like, if it's going to mesh with your club or not. But not saying that any of those people will like that or anything like that. But yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, it is. It is, but I know what you're saying. Hey, you've got to throw some money around in these. I mean, I know in Div 1, there's a lot of clubs throwing a lot of money around.
Oh, is there? You could have told me.
We're not going there, aren't we? Not even going there. All right, so that's Prem Reserve done. We'll quickly have a look at Div 1. Now, we're not going to go into every club in Div 1, so the graphic I've got sort of shows the top 4 from each section.
So we do apologise to the rest. Like, if you want to sort of get on the and let us know who you're picking up, that'd be awesome. But we just don't have 4 hours.
No. So Flemington's through in section 1. Brunswick, Sunbury, and as you can see there, Brunswick sat on top of the ladder all year. Flemington knocked them over in the final. Sunbury, Glenroy. Unch, do you know much?
Well, as Toddy was saying, we know Chopper's gone too. Brunswick is the head coach, so that's a massive in for them. Yeah. And they've got a lot of experience there.
And they got JR, the state coach, as well.
Yeah, for sure. And, Gonzo skipping as well. It's a very solid side, as their results showed last year. They just didn't win the big one, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. And it happens.
For sure, mate. Glenroy, well, they're a good side. If you got Johnny McCarron, Coop, Sammy Rogers in the side, that's off the top of my head. That's a good start for your back end sort of players. There's a lot, sure. Johnny's got a lot of experience. Coop's the same, like he's only a young fella, but he's played in a lot of state titles and things like that. So there's enough experience there. I think 100%. they just got to get over the hump. I think that's their thing, mate. If they can do it, they'll go places. They're probably just right on that borderline from, if they do win it, they could cause some serious damage the following years.
Yeah, righto. Yeah. Well, the interesting thing in Div 1, and I'd noticed this when I was typing out all the ladders and stuff, only one team out of the 4 sections that finished on top actually won their section.
It's amazing how that happens. Yeah, it's so close. Once you, like, Divi 1 and probably Divi 2 is similar. Like, once you get into the finals, those top 4 teams, anyone can really win once they make finals. Yeah, it's always pretty close. The standards always there's not a big sort of gulf in the standards or the topper sides in each section, I don't think.
Yeah.
Sunbury, Glenroy. Don't know many ins and outs.
No, I think Carla's back. Yeah.
Yeah. It's only what we see on social media.
Yeah.
Yes, Carla's back for Sunbury, and they're always going to be a pretty strong team. And again, they've got the carpet, the indoor, so their players are going to have a head start when they first start the game with those. So, and as I was saying, Glenroy is always going to be a tough team with a lot of experience. So expect them to be fighting hard for this year again.
So, Unch, we've got particular interest in Section 2, don't we, mate?
Oh, mate, we'll be pegging a couple down, hopefully, in Divi 2, unless I'm playing in the 2s. Who knows? We'll wait and see what happens first.
Well, you never know. Now, I have heard off the grapevine, and I've got something here. Hang on. Now, there has been a big trade over the off-season, Unch.
Okay, yep.
As you and I both know. So, Mitcham received Anthony Witkowski. Croydon received Matt Clark. Bronia receives a 2054 first-round draft and also receives a 2062 first-round draft.
And I'm sure Clayton will receive the benefits of me not being there.
Yeah, you get nothing.
Apart from the joy of not having to listen to my whatever.
That's a fair trade, I reckon, mate. Yeah.
Oh, mate, I'm sure Croydon will be happy with that one. And
no, don't go there.
I'm sure that Mitcham will be happy with it as well. And as I said, I'm sure Clayton will be happy that they don't have to listen to my bollocks.
Never.
So she's a pretty tight section, this one. It's a few of us have sort of said it's a section of death because literally anybody can get up and win it on the day. Laylaw ended up losing to Mitcham in the last game. And I think Mitcham went on to go down against Flemington.
Yeah, I think it was, mate, by say, under 10 shots or something like that. It was pretty close.
So Mitchum wouldn't have made a lot of changes apart from you, or is there a couple
look,
more?
mate, don't want to give the trade secrets away, mate. If,
come on.
We'll just keep that one close to the chest.
That's
Hey,
come
I'm
on.
giving everything out.
Yes, come on.
No, mate, I think I'm probably the only inclusion if I get a game in the ones, mate. I think it's pretty status quo.
Well, it's going to be tough to get a game in the ones, mate.
Oh, mate, it is, mate. They, as I said, they won the section last year, mate. So you've got to be.
They won't be changing much.
Get a spot. But I think it's pretty similar, mate. Apart from myself,
I think Andrew Cullen's a half out. I could be wrong, and we can ask him when he comes on. But he did mention something to me the other day that he's also signed on back at Bendigo, so he might be a permit player.
Okay, well, there might be a secret one, but I can't quite give that one away yet either, because I haven't been given the all clear. I haven't found out exactly.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, Zachy hasn't given you the go ahead. Oh, come on. It's all going to be out in the weekend.
I can't say anything about that one.
Mate, you got 3 days and it's out anyway. Who cares?
No, it's not, mate, because I don't know. I don't know if it's certain, so I don't want to put either club or person under the bus if it's not happening, and our fabulous coach, Zach, under the pump if it doesn't happen, mate. So I can't quite give any more away than it. There is a secret. Who knows?
Okay. Heard much from Laylaw in terms of what they're doing?
No, I think they'll be pretty similar. I believe the flyings or the permits are all going to be back. They're a good side.
Mate, they only lost 2 games last year. That's why
exactly right, mate.
Well, you have a look at it. Laylaw lost 2 games. Mitcham lost 3. Kingsbury was 7-7, and Croydon snuck over the line to get into the finals, I think, by about a game and a half.
It was really close in that section all the way down, wasn't it?
Yeah, all the way down. Yeah, it was pretty tight.
Yep.
All right. Don't know. Again, I think Kingsbury are going to be.
I don't think they're in the section, mate. I think they're in section 4 this year or something.
Oh, they moved over.
I don't think they're in the section. Yeah,
probably because Mooroolbark's in.
Yes, I'll give you the sleeper side of this section is Yarra Glen. Yarra Glen has picked up very, very well, and they're going to be right up there. They're going to be very, very tough.
Yes.
They've been putting it all over social, so...
they're letting everyone know.
That's beautiful, so everyone knows then. But no, good luck to them. They're a ripping bunch of boys out there, so looking forward to playing them a couple of times. But hopefully we get the better of them. But if not, we'll have a couple of beers afterwards. But yeah, they're going to be really good. They're going to be a good side, really good side.
And they're ripping blokes in that side too. So.
Oh, for sure. And what about Croydon?
All
mate,
right.
You should tell us the ins and outs there, shouldn't you?
I got a phone call the day the season finished, funnily enough, and Peps gave me a call and said, mate, we'd love to have you over, have a think about it. Decent chance to make the ones. Yep, cool, no worries. He said, yeah, we're just topping up based on last year. Yep, all good. So I've come over, yep, everything's fine. And then it just absolutely snowballed. I think we're bought in, at last count, 23, 24.
Jesus, there's obviously the old Worcester's obviously opened up down there this year.
I know nothing about that. But I can tell you, righto, so the ins are Mitch Pepper and Junior Matthews from Keesey. So again, Keesey had the implosion and everyone's reaping the benefits of that.
I think Mitch is coming back as well. He was at Croydon a couple of years ago, I think, and then moved on. But so he's come back, which is good.
So we've got the Pepper brothers, both of them.
Look out.
Oh, no, I know. So we've got Chris Lionel Ritchie. He's come over from Fitzroy. Played a couple of blinding preseason games. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay. I didn't realise he was over to you guys. I knew that he'd signed at Ringwood, but obviously after that all imploded, he's obviously left as well. Yeah. Funky O'Halloran and Rob Waghorn are back. I think Wags had a year off, didn't he, last year? Or he was half.
I'm not sure, mate. I'm pretty sure he played a little bit at Mooroolbark.
At Mooroolbark, because again, they're up. They're up into Div 1.
Wags has been there for, before he went to Mooroolbark, he'd been at Croydon his whole career. So he's a bit of furniture back there, which is good.
So interesting one. Jake Series moved on from Flemington.
Oh, so has he come to Croydon, has he?
He's come to Croydon.
Jeez, that war chest is opening up.
Well, I don't, again, I'm not privy to any of this information.
Hey.
But I just, interesting move. Seeing as Flemington have gone up to Prem Reserve, so...
He might have moved out this way. He might be getting some coin. Good on him. As long as my man Weeks, he's playing in the top side, mate, and I get to see him, I'll be happy.
No, he will be. And another big one, Vicky Smith, gone from Lilydale over to Croydon, or back to Croydon, we should say.
Yeah, I saw that. I was quite surprised with the move, but she's a quality player, mate. She played in the, I think, pretty sure she played in the women's senior win just over the last couple of days. So
Yep.
it's another quality player, mate. So obviously Croydon might like their chances as well in this section, I guess.
And you got my good mate Alpha over there as well.
Oh,
Yeah, Alpha's there.
Everyone's
Yeah.
made Alpha.
Everyone's made Alpha. Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah.
So look, we should be.
No.
We
So
should be.
have they picked the team?
Yeah, the team's pretty much picked, and I'm
Hey,
not.
where
out.
are you?
Are they open for people to see or not?
Hang on, where are you playing?
Actually, I've got my phoney, Clarky. I'll have a look.
I've left Bronia Div 3 and ending up skipping Div 3. So,
Oh, well, that's okay, mate. You just
No,
got
I
to
didn't know. So
no.
you just got
Look,
to
the
do
idea,
your time, mate. You'll be right.
yeah, the idea behind it for me, especially. Look, I'm happy to, and as Mitcham would know, for example, they did the same last year. Had a massive influx of people, and what it does is it just strengthens all the sides underneath it. So,
Yeah, it's an avalanche effect, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
makes for so much of a more enjoyable year for the whole club.
Yeah, and that's it's one of those things that we've talked about. Check your ego at the door, and if you don't want to, well, there's the door type attitude. You know, the club's got to have that attitude. It's got to be a club first attitude. And like I said, once you'd probably know with Mitcham, they had a massive influx last year, ended up cascading down, and ended up winning 3 flags out of their 5 or 6 sides.
Yeah, I've got to be honest with you, Clarky. I've got no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't take a lot of interest in Mitcham last year. I was playing at Clayton, so
Yeah,
that was all I was worried about.
So that's proof in the pudding that, hey, if you have a massive influx, it just flows all the way down. So
Yeah, I think, and it's one of those ones, as long as the club as a whole understand that, you know, that the people that are coming in are only going to make every side stronger.
Yeah.
And, you know, as you're saying, not probably sooking about maybe not playing in a spot that they were the year before or getting dropped down to a lower side. As long as everyone understands that, then, as you said, it makes the club heap stronger. But people have just got to understand that if people come at the top, then you've got to sort of put people down.
yeah, well, Matty O'Brien reckons because Troy Stafford left Croydon, they've got a truckload of cash.
Well, I thought there must have been a reason that there were so many people going there because of the war chest has obviously opened up.
Yes, and Bull Lee reckons I'll be struggling to get a game in the third. So thanks, mate.
I'll back you to. I'll back you to be playing in the ones by the end of the year, pal.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's it.
Depends how
It
the
might
form
be
goes.
tank for Clarkey next by the end of the year. Who knows?
We'll see. Righto, Section 3. Port went through, so leaves Middle Park, Bentley and Blackburn. Toddy, you'd probably know a bit, wouldn't you, with Bentley and Blackburn? Out your sort of... Blackburn's more
no.
our sort of town.
No,
I know
the only
that,
thing, Bentley, from what I can tell, is maybe an older demographic. I remember I used to play when I first started. It was at McKinnon, and it's always been a little bit of an older demographic side, Bentley, I suppose, from what I know. But to be honest, I don't know a lot. I know Port Melbourne are a little bit younger. They're a little bit more up and about. And I think Port Melbourne are going to be a very competitive, very strong team in they're in Prem Reserve now anyway.
Yeah, they're a Prem Reserve, so again.
Yeah.
No.
I know. I'm pretty sure that Blackburn, Tommy Ristic was coaching. I don't think he's coaching there anymore. I don't believe. I'm not sure who's taken over, but I believe they've swapped their coaches.
Will Takarua, I think it is. I think that's how you say his name. He's the coach at Blackburn this coming season.
Yes, he is. Sorry. Yes, because stupid me. Played him 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Oh, come on, mate. You're supposed to.
Yeah, I know.
You should have the inside knowledge then, mate.
Yeah, no, but from what I know, not a lot's changed. So they haven't got any big ins. We gave them a decent run we were at home on the plastic, so we gave them a decent run for their money.
And I believe out of that section, if Middle Park's in that section, they're going to be strong. Like they just lost to Port Melbourne, I think, in the final last year. They're a strong side. They've got I played there a couple of weeks ago. I hadn't been there before, and that's an impressive club.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
run well.
Huge club.
You know, Nate Vino runs it well with Dino, and they're all on the same page there. And they'll be really strong again.
See, Middle Park's one of those places like Richmond Union that are never going to be short of coin because they're in a city-ish. they get heaps and heaps and heaps of corporates coming down and just
and
throwing
it's
cash
well
around.
run. You know,
Oh, yeah.
those people aren't going to come through the door if it's not advertised, not well run, and
No,
people
that's
don't
right.
sort of run it against it. But yeah, that's a very impressive joint. Very impressive.
All right, moving on to Middle Park. Really, they won 10 and lost 4 last year, so they should be pretty strong in section.
Can you put
3.
the ladder back on the screen, please?
Yeah, mate.
The other one in that section there would be the Brighton amalgamation with everyone. I can't remember who it is. It's now EEBC.
Elston Wick. Eltham's out this one. Elston Wick, something, and now Brighton.
Yeah, so I think I don't know. I believe
Elstonwick, Elwood, and Brighton.
Elwood, yes.
I believe, I don't know. I'm just sort of shooting off the hip here. I believe that Thor Shannon might be out there doing something. You should know this one, Clarkey.
The idea behind that, from what I understand, from what Thor has told me, or what I've heard off the grapevine, which is dangerous either way, I think he was signed on to be Elstonwick coach. Then the whole Brighton thing fell apart, so they brought him on. I know he has been spruiking their war chest. So not so much Brighton's. Not so much Brighton. Apparently, Elstonwick. Who was it? Elstonwick.
Elwood.
Elstonwick Elwood have a fair bit of coin behind them.
They're quite financial areas, really.
Yeah.
They probably would, I guess.
Yeah, so they've
also in that section, Bo Morris. I don't believe Matty Curtis playing this year either. So that's a pretty big out for them.
Okay.
Yeah, not sure.
Well, that's...
No, I know that one. I'm telling you.
Oh, you said pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Yeah. No.
Again, I haven't updated the sections because I got them in section 4 from last year.
Yeah, no, they're in section 2, mate. It's all good. I got it right here.
Are they? Righto.
Yep.
No, that's all right.
Great work, Dunch. You're all over
Thank you,
this,
mate.
Yeah.
All over it. Section 4 now, mate. I'm all over that one too.
No. That's all right. All right, move on to section 4. Come on, Unch.
Oh, okay. We've got Narry Warren, we've got Cranbourne, we've got Parkdale, we've got Mulgrave, we've got Mentone, Pakenham, Cheltenham, and Keysborough.
Yep.
Well, I can start with Cranbourne, I guess. Scotty Geimer and my old mate Rhino Drummond are both there for the upcoming season. So that's 2 massive pickups.
Yep.
Yeah, for
Scotty,
sure.
we know what Rhino can do. Scotty's the same. He's with Clayton for numerous years. He's been a very good bowler. So that's 2 massive pickups for a side that finished 4th last year. So they should be thereabouts, I would imagine.
100%, yeah.
Narry Warren, I think they've probably splurted a little bit more coin around again or have topped up from what they had last year, I believe. They're going to be another side that starts, they're probably 10, 15 in front at their home nearly every game. It's a fantastic establishment and whatnot. So they'll be thereabouts. Hopefully my old mate Snags at Parkdale just can keep them upright and whatever else. Mulgrave, I believe Spence is coaching. Was he coaching last year? I don't know.
He was last year.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this
I think he's coaching again there this year. I know Neville Brown's gone to Pakenham as coach, so I'm sure would have brought a couple with him. Mentone, I believe. I believe Lockie's coaching again, so I think they'll be thereabouts. It sounds like they've sort of established their little core group and have got things sort of back on track, which is good after a couple of years of being sort of pillaged of players and people leaving.
Yeah.
So it'll be good for them to just hold on.
What section's Packy in?
4.
4.
Yep.
Well, they've got Colin Vandenall. He's gone across as coach, so that's a...
No, mate. No. He's at Berwick.
Oh, Berwick. That's what I meant. Not
Yeah, mate.
I meant Berwick. I've only
Are
been
you
playing.
running,
I've only
you
been
running this
playing there.
show or what?
I've only been playing there for the last 7 weeks. You'd think I'd know.
Well, so the old Swedish chef Cole's gone to Berwick. That's different.
Berwick,
too,
yes. Yeah. So they'll be stronger for that. The other one in section 4, Keysy, they got absolutely decimated due to internal wrangling and everything else. I don't know if they've actually picked anyone up. I highly doubt it, which means they're really going to struggle this year.
Yeah, it might be tough for them. I know that Friday night, if you live down in that area, whatever it's called, whatever it is down Cranbourne way.
Southeastern suburbs, mate.
Southeast.
Yeah, the whole down there.
The best part of the world.
Yeah, the whole down there. I know that Narry Warren's playing Cranbourne on Friday night, so at Narry Warren. So if you are around that area and want to go and have a look, that'll be pretty decent.
Undercover.
Pretty decent game of bowls for probably two sides. It should be right up there.
Yep. Righto, gents, that should just about do it. Don't want to waste people's time. 1 hour's long enough. So
sounds good.
Sounds good.
Beautiful.
So we've got Div 1 in full flight this weekend. Prem reserves half up and
There's
running.
a couple of games. I think MCC's playing Heathmont, and I can't remember the other one. But there's 2 games this week and 3 the following.
Right.
So Premier League's not on this weekend.
No,
but we're on the following weekend.
Oh, la-di-da.
How come you get a week off from the start of the season?
Well, I actually don't think it's a good idea, but I think the whole competition should have been postponed if need be, because there's too many players in the stateside that are away, which I understand that, out of the 12, there's probably 10 or 11 or something.
Okay, well, that's a pretty fair reason, I guess.
Yeah.
But then it becomes very complicated for selection because we don't play round 1 when, say, Prem Reserve and Division 1, everybody else plays round 1.
Yep.
So then when we do the make-up game, like it's all out. So if someone plays on for example, this Saturday in the second side for Clayton, say.
Yep.
And our team's picked, so we've got our 16. Come the Friday night before our first game and something happens to one of our players, we need special permission to get someone from the 2s to play because they've already played in round 1.
Oh, you know what, Clarkie? That's just unlucky for you guys, isn't it? You guys can work that out. That's the problems you guys are going to work out.
But it happens a few times. And then, anyways, we can talk about this as we go during
Premier League
season,
issues. Premier League issues, mate.
It's nice not to have to worry about them, mate.
Does not concern me, this upper echelon,
You'll be happy to know we've got a game. We played Deer Park in Bendigo on a Sunday morning at 10 o'clock start. So
which is, to be honest, mate, which is some of the reason why I decided to leave, mate, because there's a couple of games in Geelong and Bendigo and stuff. And if you've got a young family, mate, it's almost impossible. So,
I know.
All right, guys.
That's the way it is, mate. That's the way they've done it. So
thank you very much for your assistance tonight, boys. I'm sure we'll see you in a couple of weeks, a few weeks, and we'll go through all the results, etc. So next week we'll be on, next week and every other week we'll be on Monday nights at 7 p.m. This one just got a bit delayed due to different issues. Toddy didn't have internet last night, and Unch was running around trying to work out how technology worked.
I'm with Optus, so half the bloody southeast was out.
Yeah, well,
see that whole of an area, mate.
That's the whole area. That's why we don't live out in the southeast.
Eastern all the way, mate.
Nah, that's it. All right, thank you very much, gents, and good bowling, everyone that's bowling this weekend. Have fun.
Yeah, good luck for the weekend.
And we'll see you next week. See you guys.
I'll be in the swimming pool. See you.
Yeah, good on you.